My name is Gertrude Jeannette. I was born in 1914. I am now 97. November the 28th, I'll be 98. Graduated from Dunbar High in Little Rock in 1933. It was the height of Depression. I went to a segregated school where all of the teachers were black, and we opened the classroom every morning singing the Negro National Anthem. We were taught black pride. Now, you must remember, there were white superintendents over the black school and the white school. Education was geared to educating blacks, how great whites were and how fortunate we were to have been brought here as slaves. My father always said, wasn't an ounce of truth in what American history was. And he always taught us that there can be no American history without the Indians and the Africans who built this country and invented things that the whites survived by. I ran away and married a man, an ex-prize fighter. I told him I was 19 when I was almost 17. I came to New York in 1933. When I arrived here, there were only one black teacher in all of the 5 borough public schools, and I was shocked. I was interested in writing and directing because I didn't believe I could ever be an actress. I took directing on the Strasbourg. I took writing on the Gassner. And my first draft, he told me, go back to my childhood and learn what happened back there. I told him I was raised on a farm until I was 7 years old. He used to go there. I told him I went to a one-room schoolroom until I went to Little Rock. And he said, but go back to that farm and think about the days that you were in a one-room schoolroom. Go back there and deal with that, write that. And then you write what happened to you in Little Rock. Then you write what happened to you when you got to New York. That's what you write about. It took me 2 years to do it. But I wrote a manuscript, and he said, get background on all of these people, where they are from, how they talk, get that. And so that's the way I got This Way Forward started.
I am Ward Nixon. I am the CEO, Artistic Director of the H.A.D.L.E.Y Players, and I've had the privilege and the honor to direct Miss Gertrude Jeannette's play, This Way Forward. This Way Forward was Miss Gertrude Jeannette's first play that she wrote in the 1950s. It's a beautiful story that focuses on education, and the message back then is still prevalent today. This production consists of 23 characters with one alternate, so it's a total of 24 characters. There are 9 scenes. There's a lot of blocking, a lot of props, and it's a play that really requires a lot of strength and a lot of agility on behalf of all of the actors and actresses. I've been a H.A.D.L.E.Y player since 1997. And I remember when Miss Jeannette first directed me, I always listened to everything that she told me, and I do so to this very day, and I always will.
H.A.D.L.E.Y player? Well, we used to, whenever we went into a building or an organization to house us, we would call, like the Elks building, we called it the Elks players and whatnot. So finally, we said we got to get our own name. So they said, Miss Jeannette, why don't you name it the Jeannette Players? I said, no, it has to be a community thing. Well, what is your maiden name? I said, my maiden name is H.A.D.L.E.Y. I said, but you can't use that either. So they said, give us a little while to think this over. I said, okay. So they came back with Harlem Artists Development League, especially for you. I said, that's a long name. He said, well, we will abbreviate it. And I didn't know until the letterheads were printed that it spelled H.A.D.L.E.Y. So they put that over on me. That was in 1979.
Ms. Gertrude Jeannette is my mentor and my dear, dear friend, and I love her dearly. And she also taught me how to really and truly become the person on that stage.
My message, they say, is not commercial. I said, well, I'm going to write for community theater. I'm going to write plays that my people know about. After the American Negro Theater closed, I took over because what I learned from the American Negro Theater, I didn't want to see it go to waste. And so I took over that, and my husband helped me. And since 1950, I've had a community theater going. Some of the people who came out of my theater, Esther Roll, the first time she was on the stage, I put her there. Rosalind Cash, first time she was on the stage at the age of 14, I put her there. Isabel Sanford, the first time she was on the stage in a dramatic play, I put her there.